Hey guys, I swear I bought a, I don't know if it's a seat or what. No, I bought the stand for my phone again, like the 10th one that I bought, and it's just, it's gone. Some mysteriously, I don't know where the heck it went. I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to forget things. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna talk about today. Sorry about the noise. My hand sanitizer on. Got my mask. All the things that we gotta make sure we have. Ridiculous, but yeah, it's still going on. Everyone get their flu shot, or some of y'all don't believe in that or something? I don't know, but I do. I believe in vaccinations and flu shots, you know, immunizations. I just do. You know, but mostly, like, because if you have kids, you have to mandate it by law in this state. I don't know if all states are like this, but in this state you have to have immunization, or you can't. They don't accept you in school. So, I mean, that's one reason why. And plus, I get sick a lot, so my immune system's not that great. I was not a breastfed baby, or I'm pretty sure my mother just served. Can you imagine? I think my mother gave me cow's milk, but if that was the case, I would have been very sick and probably died eventually. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows when my neglect really started? I really don't know. When you're born with the wrong intent, you know, for the most part, I guess, since I was thought of being conceived was the start of my end. You know, but I don't know that. But the narcissist, they're coming up with more information on, you know, narrowing down the age that, you know, the emotional regression and what age they are stuck in. And they say it's around 2 or 3 years old. Because that age, they're supposed to get out of the stage of, you know, object constancy, which is like, you know, if a parent leaves the room to a baby that's crying, they don't understand that the mother is going to come back. So they're still stuck in that age group. At around 2 to 3 years old, you're supposed to develop that, I guess that's what they're saying, scientifically. So, can you imagine, like, this is a grown-ass adult, and you were just wondering why they don't understand simple concepts and ways of behaving, and this makes sense as to why, because their age, I'm pretty sure they said in earlier research that it was about 7 or 8 years old, or 6 or 7 years old, but that's not the case. They're actually a lot less younger than that, and regressed to a baby toddler. This makes more sense to me, because a lot of the narcissists I've encountered have been like kind of very, very childish, and just, I don't know, like, you can't conceive of how childlike they are, because you can't remember yourself at age 2, 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't remember your age like 5, 7 years old, and how you would react to things and your behaviors. That makes sense. But to try to understand where they're coming from is so hard, because they're not coming from anything we even have a memory of. You know, like, do we remember what we were like 2, 3 years old? No. Or younger than that, an infant? No. So that's why their behaviors are like, huh? You can't relate to them, because they're stuck in the age group of a toddler. And this is fucking frightening. This is frightening, actually, because you're supposed to trust adults to be adults. And if there's people that are running around undiagnosed with this condition, and I'm talking about narcissists, not borderline, histrionic. You know, histrionic don't get much attention, actually. And that's probably the least talked about cluster B disorder. But I'm just talking about narcissists specifically. Because in my opinion, borderline is not like that. Because I am a borderline myself, and I have empathy, and I have object constancy and things like that. So, you know, I see myself at a higher level emotionally, intelligent-wise than the narcissist. Even though I do have a recessed, what was I saying? What was the word? Regressed age emotionally. I know I have that, but there's a difference because the age groups differ dramatically. I mean, the 7-year-old is a lot different than a 2-year-old, is it not? You know what I'm saying? Like narcissists, they're pinpointing this shit down to age, which is great because if you just say generally speaking, they're regressed into childhood. Well, what point of development is that specifically? Like, is it when you're just born to, okay, because I have children, right? I have children, and I can understand how the what went on here. I don't know, something going on here. There's an ambulance, there's lights, I mean, there's construction lights and police and all that. I don't know what happened. I'm by the ocean here. So you know, the stages of development are very distinct from each other because, like I said, I have experience from having children, and that did help me mature a lot. I think, and I had them early in life, which was younger. I had my first at 21, so I was fairly young, but doing so helped me realize the different stages of development. And you know, the doctor gives you that information. I always looked into things, like I want to educate myself on everything, and since the internet is so readily available, thank God, you know, during most of my young adulthood, I've had access to the internet. So the stages of development for a 2 to 3-year-old is a lot different than a 7, 8-year-old, okay? So that's why borderlines are not narcissists. Borderline has developed actually more emotionally than a narcissist has. Remember that, guys. Now I've been leaving comments on a lot of these so-called experts or whatever on narcissism and cluster Bs. You know, they want to lump everyone into this cluster B shit just because it's in the DSM, and it's just not so. It's not that generalized. It's not that broad. It's more specific to each disorder. Is very, very specific and unique. They share similarities, but they're not, okay? Because I'm saying from my own experience of being a borderline, knowing myself through therapy and years of research, and also having a nightmare of a life dealing with narcissists for the most part, psychopaths, and people they're of the cluster B, but really they're in the cluster B category because these personality disorders developed out of trauma, right, and child abuse for the most part. That's the only reason why they're in a cluster B, in my opinion. All right, so that doesn't make borderline a narcissist or a histrionic or a psychopath, for that matter. I mean, come on, you guys are watching these experts talk about psychopath and a borderline in the same sentence, like, and a narcissist in the same sentence. That's appalling, and that's misinformation. And you know, they're just trying to grow the channel and make it like, you know, it's easier for them to lump everyone in one group. when they speak about these topics. So yeah, I leave comments on their channels, you know, because they wanna put a borderline's intention alongside the intention of a psychopath or the intention of a narcissist, and I'm just like, no, I'm not standing for that. I stand for truth. Like, I want to find things that are true out, because my whole life has been restricting truth, and this is my way of fighting back and getting back at my abusers, because hey, they try to drag me down into hell, and just say that the abuse didn't happen and never happened, and deny it, and just live a lie and live merrily and not talk about these things. And that's not who I am. So I'm not gonna stand for it. Like, I try to tell them, hey, you know, a borderline, you know, we're a little bit, you know, we're more developed emotionally than actually a narcissist. And the research is proving that theory. So that makes a lot of sense to me, because of the way that things in my life have played out. You know, my awareness, my ability to educate myself and think of others and strive for better and take care of my own self and all that, to work harder on being who I am and seeing myself advance from like 10, 20 years ago is growth. So if a borderline, and I've seen many people online that are borderlines, and they're able to do these things, and they're able to share knowledge and mature, but you don't see a narcissist doing these things. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or a psychopath. No, I'm not going to stand for it. You're not going to put a borderline in the same boat, in the same conversation, with the same exact situation, and accuse them of being an abuser and an evil person, because that's not what we are. And I do stand up for people that are like me, even though we have serious issues and times where we revert back to a childhood age, and it definitely does happen. So, but not to age 2 or 3 or whatever. You know, you gotta learn, you gotta study development and childhood development and brain function and there's so many things involved with understanding actually personality disorders. You gotta be well-rounded in a lot of subjects, in my opinion. But I'm not no expert at any of them. I just know that you have to do the research. You can't be lazy. You can't have a lazy brain. And my brain is always on fire, fired up, researching every day since I awoken to my own mental illness, because I wanted a better life for me and my children, because my children I love deeply, because I have the ability to love. I have empathy. So they're saying that we don't have empathy and all that. I'm not standing for, and I will voice my experience with whoever. I don't care if they want to argue with me or not. It's, you know, I'm doing the work. I'm putting the work in, and I've gone through therapists and counselors and group therapies and hospitals. So you know what? I know what I'm talking about. All right, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, this could, look at the president. Sorry, but now I gotta talk political. Look at the president. Does that seem like a mature adult to anybody? Unless you live in a world of these people and that's all you know, which almost happened to me. But I was able to branch out and seek how other people live and be and act, and just be intrigued by that, because I was raised around psychologically abusive people. But I always knew there was another world out there, you know, that is happy, is different, is productive, is ideal, and I longed for that. So No, we're not like the narcissist. Narcissist thinks that their world is their reality. Like the actual reality world doesn't exist to them. They just created this entirely different world. It's so bizarre and strange because now it makes more sense. We can't go into the mind of a 2-year-old. I mean, unless you do the research on that brain development. Like I said, that's why everyone's like, what? Like, you can't even relate to them. Like, what is this? And you can't communicate with them at all. Try communicating with a 2-year-old. But, I mean, I had 2 kids. I know what that's like. You have to have a lot of patience, but and let me tell you, I'm not a perfect mother, but because I've struggled with my own mental illness, the illness of my husband. I mean, come on, I should get a gold medal, not to like brag, but I really have been through hell, complete hell, and once I'm able to articulate all this into writing, and I'm pretty good at writing more than I am speaking. I'm not the greatest speaker, but because my limited, like, because I was always made to be quiet and not exist because I've been around narcissists. So the narcissist is always, the big talker and the big presence in the room. And I've had my whole life brought up that way, that I have been so quiet, like, so my speaking skills is not the greatest, even though I've been to school and college, but I didn't even complete college. That's another story. But, I mean, I'm working on it, but writing is a very personal thing. Like, you don't have to be around people to write and to learn how to write well and, put your thoughts onto paper. It's a lot easier for me, always have been. So I would like to write my own book because I have, I think, a pretty interesting story that needs to be told because, you wouldn't know by looking at me, or you wouldn't know my story, and you don't know anybody's story, and I think that's unfortunate. I think a lot of people should write more stories about their lives. It's not conceited or anything, it's just being real, being real, open, honest about things that society does not like to talk about, or just doesn't have time to talk about. That's true, they don't have time to talk about it. But now that we have this pandemic thing, and a lot of people don't even have anywhere to go anymore and waste their time, and you know what I'm saying, like, people were always busy before this tragedy has happened. People were busy. You gotta keep your ass busy from the minute you wake up to the minute you go back to sleep, and even in your dreams you can't stay from having it run busy. So since we have more free time, we're prohibited from a lot of gatherings, socially, work related, everything. So now people are actually coming together more online, which is great. And I think it's a great time right now, even though we're in a horrific time, but we still are in a good time. Like, you have to see the other side to this. We're exposing disorders and abuse thing. Listen, people weren't allowed to speak about what, for the most part. This is kind of like an unwritten rule for us as a society in America. I don't know other countries, so I can't speak for them. But what was the 2 things that we were not allowed to speak about in gatherings or, with other people? That's religion and politics. So what are we doing now? We're doing the exact opposite, and basically that's what we are talking about: religion and politics, and also now mental health. So, these are all like taboo things that you don't want to discuss with the outside world. Like, you might have your own little groups, your religious groups, but you don't go around talking about it at the dinner tables, stuff like that. But now it's like the complete opposite, which is amazing because it's very uncomfortable and dangerous. And like the racism thing and And it's just like, because, you know, America likes to hide behind, you know, what they do. And racism has always been a problem, and the system is designed, this is what I believe, well, it is the truth. The system is designed to oppress minorities. And again, I can relate to that because I am a minority, half a minority, so I know. I observe everything that's going, well, I observe everything that my family goes through and what I go through, and I'm always sucking in information. I've always been that person. Anyway, you know, I'm a hyper aware to what is really going on beyond the surface of things. So yeah, so everything is coming out now. It's amazing now. It's really amazing. Like the younger generation, like I'm a millennial, right? But like the younger generation, let's say Gen Z, I guess they call it Gen Z. You know, the teens and the 20-year-olds. They're very highly involved in these taboo topics now. So that's a good start for us. And you know, we're gonna be able to fight the ills of our society, I believe. I mean, I think 2020 is a big year for all of that and awakening. So that's the good side. Let's think of the good side of this tragedy and thing that we're going through now. But again, in that same sense, again, everyone gotta vote. Like, I'm eagerly waiting to vote in my state. I can't early vote because they didn't approve of that yet in New Jersey. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the go ahead. I'm not gonna be voting through mail. I forgot where I was going. Is it this way? Nope, I went the wrong way. Damn it. Okay, so what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Alright, I'm not voting by mail. I got one of these stupid postcards in the mail saying, like, you know, it's better off that you vote by mail because the in-person polls are gonna be limited. And it's just like, no. I'm not gonna, no. You know how the post office is going? I'm going in person to vote, no matter if it's limited or not, or I gotta wait like 5 hours, 6 hours. I've done it before with the DMV, not long ago, a few months back, where I had to stay overnight to do my registration and my license and all that. So that was great, but I got it done. You know, they want to prevent us from being a democracy, and that's just not what America stands for. It shouldn't stand for. So no, I'm not letting that happen. So I will be voting by mail. But I have to go down. All right, guys. So I'm tired of talking now. Yeah. So I hope everyone keeps talking and, you know, get out of the mess. And maybe we'll have a different society, hopefully, if this guy Trump doesn't win the election, which would be a horrible sidetrack, but it'll be it wouldn't be good. So yeah, don't vote for Trump. That's a stupid idea, especially if you're not a millionaire or, you know, somebody with stock in anything. Stock is shit. Just, you know, I'm not telling anyone. I'm just saying, everyone has a right to this country. We all have rights to this country. Most of us have been born here. I mean, Puerto Ricans are actually U.S. citizens, if people didn't know that. Hispanics are not just Mexicans, if y'all didn't know that. You know, there's a lot of uneducated people trying to think that they know it all. Yeah. Okay, guys, so just let me know what you think. I'm actually almost up to 200 subscribers. I know that's not a lot, but to me it's very significant because I've been trying to push for for the 200 mark for the longest time, because there's a lot of people that will sign up and then you know, unsubscribe the next couple days or a week later. This is frustrating, but you know, hopefully I could get more subscribers. I know I have to be a little bit more active online, and network is important. I'm gonna be trying to do that more often now. All right, so thank you very much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment to encourage me to do these videos. I really appreciate any advice or feedback, and let me know how things are going for you. Hope everyone's doing well, taking care of yourselves.